But at some point, the math is the math. And
I think we can do a better job using that information.
it reinforces my belief that I have the best constituents. There I am. Hello, Austin. Hello, Clawbackers. Hello, District 6. Welcome to episode 50. The Big 50, episode 50 of the Clawback. I can't believe we've made it this long. We have been going for a year, and we have another great slate of guests for the show today. I'm very excited to get to them. Want to cover a couple of really important things first. Obviously, we just had a big election day. We're going to talk to Kim Gilby, chair of the Williamson County Democrats, at the end of the show. But we are also in a runoff right here in District 6. I have my little runoff graphic. It's a runoff, y'all. So get ready. Get ready to run. We got to get everybody to sign up. We'll show you the link for that right there. Go ahead and go to the website and sign up, jimmyflanagan.com/reelect. You can make your donations. You can sign up to volunteer. And we got to get everybody back to the polls in December. Early voting starting December 3rd, and Election Day is December 15th. It's going to be a crazy sprint to victory this fall. And I'm really thankful to everybody that donated and volunteered and voted for me in the first round. We did come out on top with the most votes, and I'm confident that we can win this thing heading into December, as long as everybody signs up and joins me in that work. Let me get back to my other overlay. There we go. Move my camera back. Also, there's all the national stuff. We'll talk with Kim Collins-Gilby about that. There's also still a pandemic, y'all. And you can see there was a little bit of an uptick in hospitalizations that was happening earlier in October. We're kind of waffling in that mid stage 3 area. Everybody keep doing your job. Keep wearing your masks. Keep avoiding those negative situations. I think we've all gotten a lot of clarity about how to best protect ourselves and avoid those dangerous situations. Keep wearing your mask, and hopefully with some hopefully minimally functional federal government, before long, we will find ourselves with a vaccine and an ability to get these businesses and some folks back to work, back in person, and being able to hang out with our friends and loved ones, at least that part of normalcy. Lots of other things we don't want to go back to normal, because we're going to build back better as a community, and hopefully under President Biden. So let's go ahead and get on to our first guest. I am so excited to have her joining the show, and she does some amazing work with her organization. I want to welcome to the show Darlene Lanham with the Asian Family Support Services. Hi, Darlene.
Hi, Councilmember Flanagan. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for taking some time to join the show. Before we get into your work, I want to know, how is your family? Is everybody safe and healthy?
We are. We have the privileges of, meaningful work, health, and it's good. We're good. I will say,
I'm really glad to hear that.
Like so many people, I'm on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. When you're going at that uphill part, and you can feel the gravity, on you, but then you sort of get your stamina up. And then you're getting closer to the top. And so that feeling of anticipation and excitement, a little bit of risk, almost to that point of elation. That's sort of how I really feel right now.
Yes, I am feeling the same way. I am thinking of a lot of Broadway songs in my head for some reason I want to sing as a response to that. But I'm going to save that for another show, because I want to talk about your organization, the Asian Family Support Services of Austin. It's such an awesome group, and you do such important work. But I think there are a lot of folks that'll be watching this show that aren't as familiar with AFSSA. And so why don't you tell the folks what it is that you do?
I will. I'll start with our belief that our people are very powerful and resilient. And when I say our people, I'm talking about Asian people of Asian heritage, and immigrant communities. Our purpose at Asian Family Support Services of Austin is to break the cycle of violence in our communities. I think that we're probably best known for our culturally responsive advocacy for survivors of sexual and domestic violence. And when we talk about advocacy, we talk about answering the 24/7 hotline in a language that is their home language, that we, our people, can access. We're also pretty well known for our long-term case management. We don't, say you've got 3 sessions of counseling and then it's over. We really, because of the unique barriers that folks who have limited English proficiency or other cultural barriers may experience, we stay with the client from that point that she calls us for assistance, or he or they call us for assistance, to the point at which they're feeling autonomous and independent. We've got a small supportive housing program where we pay rent supports for about 18 months while folks are going through complicated family law situations or perhaps immigration situations. And I think we could be better known for our community and prevention work. We do a lot of work with the school districts, working with young folks and their parents to really interrupt the forces that set us up for gender violence early on. So we do a lot of school-based programming around healthy relationships. We do a lot of parent support around healthy parenting. And that is what we do. Everything we do is to break that cycle of violence in our communities.
That's so important. When we talk about some of the more visible challenges in our community, like homelessness, we sometimes forget about the early indicators that lead people down that very unfortunate path. And your organization is one of the ways that we help prevent more people ending up on the street. And that long-term case management is a model that we're trying to apply to a lot of services that is serving all parts of this community. And I'm so thankful to the work that you all do, focused in a culturally sensitive and a culturally informative way, which is really important because ultimately you have to speak to people where they are, and you have to speak to people in the way they can hear it. And if you want to actually help them, you cannot force a one-size-fits-all solution on every person in crisis.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I really couldn't be more proud of the team of 20 folks who help us respond in this culturally relevant way every single day. I absolutely agree with you.
So how has this year been different? I mean, the pandemic has changed so many different parts of the work that we do. Obviously, I don't think I've left my house, but for a couple of rallies and protests and other political experiences, but I am surely not going into work at the office. How has this year impacted your work at AFSS?
Yeah, boy, how has it not, right? I mean, everything is just so much more intense. I'll tell you, who we work with, our clients who are Asian and immigrant survivors of violence really face a triple threat in the pandemic. And when I talk about a triple threat, I mean, yes, all of the same health and economic considerations that we are all experiencing in the United States. And then there's also the layer of surviving violence. And then an added unfortunate layer of being blamed for the pandemic. So many of our clients and community members have actually been targeted, with racial blaming mostly East Asian, our East Asian folks for, just threatening and harassment. And so, the conditions that would really help someone or make someone believe that they could safely leave and have options, those conditions are murkier and scarier for them. So I feel like we're operating in this triple threat in our movement. One thing that has been positive, and I've got to thank you and your fellow council members for creating the Relief in a State of Emergency program, the RISE program. When you called us for assistance, I think we were one of the first 4, along with Austin Area Urban League, El Buen Samaritano, and Catholic Charities to help move money to the people, we said yes. Of course, we had to say yes. We moved over $860,000 to 2,200 people in Travis County. I mean, thanks to you and the city of Austin for funding that. That did make such a big difference. And another added benefit is that, while folks were waiting for their gift cards, for their rent assistance, for their medical assistance, medical bill payments, we were able to provide them pretty intensive case management during that time. So just very grateful for that.
Well, I'm so grateful for you, Darlene, and your organization for always rising to the occasion and stepping up and helping the community when in this really, I do this show weekly and I keep running out of ways to describe like how crazy or ridiculous or unprecedented or any of those things that this represents. But I think what it also represents is that you can't solve problems just by making the problem illegal. You actually have to invest in people and you have to invest in solutions. And that is the work that you do. And that is the work that I have tried to do as a council member. Darlene, thank you so much for joining the show today. Before you go, why don't you tell everybody about your upcoming gala?
Yes, thank you. We are so excited. It's tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. It's our Silk Road Gala at Home, pandemic adapted to be safe. We are having, I think the dinner deliveries are sold out, but we still do have a $50 program access option. And Nora Jones, the Grammy artist, is creating a performance especially for us. And so we just, she's got this new, have you heard her new album? It's called Pick Me Up Off the Floor. It is like an anthem to survivors of violence. There's a song that she sings called To Live. And she talks about wanting to live a life in color and breathe outside the lines. And that is very affirming to us who are working through, getting out of that cycle of power and control to live our own lives in color and breathe outside the lines. So we're super thrilled, and we would invite anybody to join us. You can get the program access at our website. I'll just tell you, our website is afssaustin.org/Silk Road. And folks are welcome to, from the comfort of your own home, you can join us in our community celebration of you, Councilmember Flanagan, and our many colleagues who live in your district and who support us, and new friends too. All are welcome.
That sounds like a great event. Everybody go check it out, afssaustin.org. You can get your tickets to the Silk Road Gala at Home. Darlene, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you.
That organization does really, really spectacular work, and has expanded its work in the pandemic to meet the needs of the community, because the needs changed pretty rapidly as we all pivoted quickly. And we were, I was writing resolutions back in March and getting things initiated, and many of my colleagues creating the RISE program and getting all of those processes through. And hopefully, as folks are still struggling with the pandemic, because as we saw earlier in the show, there are still hospitalizations and we haven't been able to curve that down. We're holding steady. Hopefully there'll be more federal dollars on the way and we can keep these programs rolling. Let's bring on our musical guest. It's always one of the greatest things that I get to do, and bring live music, even while we're at home, bring live music back into Austin. So I'm proud to bring back on a returning musical guest, Stephanie with Bidi Banda.
Hi there.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. Last time I was on, I had a toddler join me. Today I have an adult man. This adult man guitar player joining me today. I'm happy to be back, though.
You grew up so fast.
I know. They grew up right before your eyes. Happy to be here. This is Luke Salas, our guitar player in Bidi Banda.
Hi, Luke. Thanks for joining the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Stephanie, it's so great to have you back on the show. Your appearance was kind of in the early days when we were having guests back in April, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and there were, we were shutting down the whole city, and we were headed into some pretty extreme pandemic times, and now we're in this weird kind of holding steady, waiting for science to catch up to the problem.
Yeah, I feel like
yeah, I mean, but so what have you been up to since then? What have you been up to since April?
Yeah, so we obviously haven't been playing very much. April, end of March, South by to beginning of May is what we refer to as Selena season, for me at least. So we were doing most of our gigging. All of that kind of evaporated really quickly. What we've been doing since then is actually, we spend the rest of the year supporting a bunch of causes that we care about. I've spent a lot of that time trying to kind of like talk the walk, if that makes sense. Doing more research on how we can be effective, making my voice and using the band's platform to talk more about equal rights for women and for people of color. Most recently, we have decided to, as a band, we've decided to incorporate what we're calling a diversity clause in our contracting, which that basically means that we will not be participating in any more festivals or playing in any more clubs where we're the only people of color who are on that stage for a significant period of time. So working on that diversity clause, having it be looked at by a couple of attorneys is what we've been trying to fine tune so that we can be ready to go for 2021.
That's exciting. And I mean, that's some pretty important work. And, in a lot of ways you need market actors, private participants to start holding folks accountable.
Sure.
We do what we can at the government level, but everybody has a role to play in
Absolutely.
ensuring access and equality.
Yeah, and for the most part, for 100% of the time, so for everything we have booked on our calendar, we haven't had to cancel anything, we haven't had any problems. And if you have diverse booking practices and you believe everyone should be allowed to play in your club or at your festival, we have no problems. We're good.
We were very fortunate to have Jackie Vincent on this show this year as well, and it was just 2 weeks before she made her similar stand, refusing to play Blues on the Green, and that really led to a lot of great evolution of that cultural institution, and it's been fascinating to bring on folks like yourself and Jackie and Akina Adderley and others who come through the show and then weeks later seemingly are changing the world. It's pretty exciting.
Jackie's what happened with Jackie was certainly the catalyst for me thinking about doing this. I realized in what was going on with her that I was the first Latina to ever play Blues on the Green. So we wanted to use that for, when the door's been open for us, we want to make sure it stays open for people who look like us. Yeah, you're right. It's funny how I was in a different mindset last time I was here, for sure.
Yeah. Well, in addition to Bidi Banda, you also are in roles working with me at the city.
Yes.
Why don't you tell folks a little bit about your job working on music at even a bigger level?
Sure. So when I'm not doing Bidi Banda things, I work at the City of Austin in the Music and Entertainment Division. I work in artist and industry development. So the goal with Austin's music community is to not give them a fish, but to teach them how to fish so they can fish for the rest of their lives. So we want to make sure that our musicians are equipped with the skills and the resources that they need to make music an actual career that they can do without having to juggle 3, 4, 5 jobs. That's the goal. So since COVID times, we've actually been deploying a number of funds. So we started with the Austin Music Disaster Relief Fund, which was 1,500 micro grants for Austin's music community. We did that via Music Years, which is a nonprofit arm of the Grammys. We've also deployed the Creative Space Disaster Relief Fund, which was $1 million toward live music venues. And then we've got some additional funding coming down the pipeline sooner than later. So busy times over at the music office.
It is, and you've been doing a great job, and the music office has been doing a great job in very harrowing times for musicians and the music industry, as the council and I have tried to pull resources together and get it into the hands of folks in need. And I'm excited about what may be possible with, and I've said this already in this show, with an even minimally functional federal government, what we might be able to do with additional stimulus now that we have a clearer picture who the most affected industries are, who the most affected folks are, and we can really target those resources.
Certainly. And there's the silver lining of this just dark cloud is that this is such rewarding work to be able to support groups who really actually are struggling and who need it. To be able to give them some semblance of reinforcement is really rewarding. So silver lining, and we'll keep working towards making sure people are taken care of.
Well, thank you for all your hard work at the city, but I am interested to hear what you all have to play for us today. So why don't you give us tell us what you're going to play, and then go for it.
Of course, yeah. So this is Luke Salas. He's playing acoustic guitar today. We're going to do one of Selena's traditional mariachi songs. It's a song that she actually covered. It's called Tu Solo Tu. Do you need to? I'm going to, and we're going to get started. Oh, all right.
Mira cómo ando mi amor por tu querer, borracha y apasionada, no más por tu amor. Mira cómo ando mi bien, muy dada a la borrachera y a la perdición. Has llenado de luto mi vida, abriendo una herida en mi corazón. Tú, solo tú, eres causa de todo mi llanto, de mi desencanto y desesperación. Mira cómo ando, mujer, por tu querer. Solo tu sombra fatal, sombra del mal, me sigue por donde quiera con obstinación. Y por quererte olvidar, me tiro a la borrachera y a la perdición. Has llenado de luto mi vida, abriendo una herida en mi corazón. Tú, solo tú, eres causa de todo mi llanto, de mi desencanto y desesperación.
Yay! That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh.
It's a vibe to definitely play in front of a microphone and not have a child jump in my lap halfway through the song. For sure.
This is a tense week. It's a tense week for the whole nation, and that song was the soothing balm I needed in this moment.
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And have a great weekend, and we'll see you very soon.
Well, before we send you off, tell folks where they can find your music and where they can see you perform, even if it's virtual.
Sure. So actually, we're coming to you from San Antonio. We're actually playing a show tonight in San Antonio. SeaWorld Texas is doing a miniature fiesta celebration that we are going to be headlining tonight and tomorrow night and next weekend. So we're doing that. If you're in the San Antonio area and you have a season pass, please come see us. You can see all of our upcoming dates, virtual and in real life, at bidibidibanda.com.
That's awesome. Stephanie, thank you all so much for joining the show and sharing such a beautiful song with us today.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Gosh, that really was beautiful. Just a little bit of moment of calm reflection and chill before I bring on my next guest, who is the least thing close to chill and calm when we're talking about what's going on in this world right now. So I want to bring on my friend and such an amazing community leader, the chair of the Williamson County Democratic Party, Kim Gilby. Hi, Kim.
Hello, Councilman Flanagan. It's so good to see you today. And that was a hard act to follow. What a beautiful voice. I mean, wow.
Absolutely stunning. I remain committed to bringing on music into this show, and it is something that is really not just part of Austin, but the cleansing, the palate cleanser we need in order to face the world sometimes. And you know that you fight on the front lines of trying to make our community better and trying to have our voices heard by chairing the Williamson County Democratic Party. And as most folks know, I am also a Williamson County resident. District 6 is half Williamson County, half of District 6. And yes, the city of Austin does go into Williamson County. And so I'm so glad to have you on the show. First, I don't even know where to begin, right? Like what a week. What a week. Why don't Kim, why don't you just first talk about and brag a little bit on the amazing Wilco Dems and what you all accomplished leading up to this week?
It's amazing. It's like this election cycle has just been going and going and going, kind of like the Energizer Bunny, because, we had a primary runoff this summer. And, so many people have been working so hard for so long. And, on Tuesday night, we finally got to reap some of the rewards of the hard work that so many folks have been doing. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that, 4 years ago, Councilman Flanagan, my good friend Jimmy, was a bright spot in a very dark night for the Williamson County Democratic Party, because even though things nationally went down the tubes, shall we say, Jimmy Flanagan was elected to the Austin City Council, and Terry Cook was elected to county commissioner here in Williamson County, the first Democrat elected in a couple of decades. And so, we claim Jimmy. He's one of our own. We adore Jimmy, and we're so proud of the volume of work that he has done and will continue to do once we get him to where he needs to be on December 15th. But, it's a great time to be a Democrat here in Williamson County. In 2018, we were very excited because we took 2 of the Justice of the Peace seats. And the really cool thing about knowing that the people that were elected, they're both members of the LGBTQ plus community. So, wow, in Williamson County, yes, that happened. And then, of course, we're so proud of our state House reps. In District 136, John Busey, and in 52, James Tallarico. They were elected in 2018. And, that's something we're celebrating now, because all of our incumbents, Commissioner Cook, Representatives Tallarico and Busey, they were reelected Tuesday night. And I think by now, probably everybody listening and watching knows that Williamson County went for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris Tuesday night. Folks, Williamson County is not the Williamson County of your grandparents or even your parents. We're certainly not dark red anymore, and we're just going to keep chipping away until every cycle we elect more Democrats.
Well, I'm so proud of the work, Kim, that you've done with the party. You didn't even mention the race that you won, that the party won countywide.
Yeah, Mike Gleason, overwhelmingly. I mean, we're not talking by a few points. Landslide, and the really interesting takeaway from that race, Mike his opponent, well, the incumbent spent like $1.1 million. And, he was on TV and just saying all these things. And we saw this with several other candidates, just not Mike Gleason, but, John and James too. People stayed true to themselves and they ran issues-oriented campaigns, and they told the truth. And on the other side, you had other tactics that they employed, and it really didn't pay off too well for them, I'm proud to say. But, we are so proud of Mike Gleason, and I did some research. Apparently, we haven't elected a Democratic sheriff since the early 90s, and we also picked up a constable seat in Precinct 1. So it was an exciting night, and you came awfully close to winning outright. And we did pick up, in the school boards and area city councils, some good Democrats who are going to look out for everybody. And I think that's what it is, our shared values. We care about people, and we want to do what's right for, the families in our communities. And, that's just one of the many things I admire about you, Jimmy, is the way that you try to fight for people.
Thank you, Kim. I'm really honored to be a Williamson County Democrat. I'm the first Williamson County resident to serve on the Austin City Council, and also the first openly gay man to serve on the Austin City Council. So it's great to have our two justices of the peace from that community joining me in breaking barriers and breaking ceilings, getting into leadership. And now the Precinct 1, which is most of the city of Austin in Williamson County, now has a Democratic council member, has a Democratic commissioner, a Democratic constable, and a Democratic justice of the peace. That's a clean sweep in southwestern Williamson County. And I am encouraged and hopeful that we're going to continue that as we go into the runoff on December 15th. You all, I'm so grateful for your endorsement, the Williamson County Democratic Party endorsing my race in the general election and rolling on into this runoff, having every Democratic endorsement that I not just Wilco, but I gotta say, half the district is Travis, half the district is Wilco. Wilco overperformed, as it often does, thanks to the really focused and hard work that you and Representative Busey and Representative Tallarico and all of the grassroots leaders do, showing folks in Williamson County that we can expect more from our communities, from our elected officials. We don't have to be satisfied with the status quo happening in the Republican Party. We can actually fight for change that improves people's lives, and not just your own life, but have empathy and love and care for every member of this community. And I think that is the defining difference between the way we approach this work, you and me and representatives and Commissioner Cook, is that we're trying to care for everyone, not just the folks that look like or sound like us.
Absolutely. And, we're going to keep moving forward. And you're right. We so don't have to settle for that status quo that we've seen for so long. And, you can count on the Wilco Dems. We're going to have your back. We're ready to hit the ground running, and we're going to do everything we can to ensure that you get reelected.
Thank you so much, Kim. I'm going to tell folks how to get involved with my campaign at the end of the show in a minute, but how can folks get more involved with the Williamson County Democratic Party?
Well, they can go to our website, which is wilcodemocrats.org. You can sign up to volunteer there and learn a lot more about the county party. And of course, check us out on Facebook, Williamson County Democrats. So thank you for that, Jimmy.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim. And let's go get them for December 15th.
We're here for you. Thank you, Jimmy.
Awesome. The Wilco Democrats have done some really amazing work. We worked with them back in 2014 in that first race that we ran for city council, came very close in that runoff, winning in 16, helping Representative Busey and Tallarico win in 18, getting them reelected in 20, and getting Commissioner Cook reelected in 20, expanding our base, and ultimately getting to a place where folks have the access to the resources and the help that they need in order for everybody to benefit from the success in this community. Thank you all for watching. I want to bring that graphic back up again because, like I said, it's runoff time, y'all. I need everybody, if you're watching, to go to the website, Sign up, share with your friends, share with your colleagues, share with your fellow Democrats. This is a race for the future of our city, because we cannot allow my opponent to send this back to the Republican Party, to take our district and Northwest Austin back to the days when we were the laughingstock of this region, when we were just ignored and nothing was getting done. We have accomplished so much for District 6 in the last 4 years, and I hope that I have earned your vote and your attention heading into a December runoff to get 4 more years. Thanks everybody for watching the show today. Again, go and sign up, jimmyflanagan.com/reerect, and we will see you on the campaign trail, and we'll see you back here next Friday.